Maleficent has finally come out. This infamous Disney movie that they have been sparsely advertising pretty much until 3 months ago. Did it live up to its hype? Watch this review and find out. Just an FYI, there will be spoilers. The movie Maleficent is a backstory to the animated movie. It is not a backstory to the Dark Fairy or the Nameless Fairy or the Evil Fairy from the original fairy tale. It is a backstory to the Disney movie. However, I do not consider this canon to any Disney movie because it is live action, and to be canon to me, it needs to be in an animated movie. Not so much theatrical, but it needs to be animated. So this is definitely an alternate universe to Sleeping Beauty, the whole world where she lives, because this is not the Maleficent that people have seen for the past 50 plus years. It starts out where Maleficent is this little girl and she meets a little boy named Stefan. Stefan is an orphan and the son of a farmer. He is not royalty like he was in the animated film. Maleficent and Stefan then form a relationship. They bond, they share secrets, the biggest secret being Maleficent's weakness, which Stefan will use against her later. Several times. Unfortunately for Stefan and Maleficent, their hopes and ambitions cause them to go in separate directions, and he leaves her, and she goes to live in the fairy kingdom place where she lives. Pretty much, Maleficent is this really big fairy. For some reason, they never explained why she's like a mutant, because she's really tall, and the other fairies are all like this big. And she lives in this magical part of the kingdom, and so the king, who isn't Stefan, doesn't like this magical kingdom and goes to war against the magical kingdom, and he attacks them, and then Maleficent raises an army of forest creatures, and they defeat the king's army. The king gets hurt really bad in battle. He says whoever can defeat Maleficent will become the king. So who becomes the king? Stefan, because Stefan knows Maleficent's weakness. So Stefan then exploits Maleficent's weakness, which turns her heart stone cold, which is what they said in the synopsis of the film. A great betrayal turns her heart stone cold. So Stefan becomes the king, and Maleficent gets word that he's the king and that he has a daughter, and that daughter is going to be christened. So, like in the Disney movie, she crashes the party, casts the curse, and walks away. And then the same thing happens in the original movie where the three fairies take her away. Okay, the three fairies in this movie are so stupid. In the original movie, they're not bumbling idiots. And that is what I'm going to call them. Bumbling idiots. They're comic relief, but they're stupid comic relief. It's not needed. I know in the original movie that Flora and Merryweather have their squabbles about the whole pink and blue dress thing. In this, they're just totally stupid, and it's bad acting. Which made me dislike the film a little bit, because they took the characters who were pretty much the main protagonists of the animated movie and made them these bumbling idiots. Maleficent knows Aurora's whereabouts during this movie, and she watches her every day. And guess what? They interact and form a relationship. Maleficent raises Aurora. The fairies have no clue when Aurora goes out every day. I'm sorry to be spoiling it this badly, but they've totally twisted the tale, which is why this has to be an alternate universe. It cannot be canon, because there's so many differences. So the day of Aurora's birthday, she goes home, tell the fairies she wants to stay with Maleficent because she likes Maleficent. And who does she meet? Prince Philip. The makers of this movie made Prince Philip just as useless as the original makers of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs made the prince. He does nothing. Which is another really weird thing, because in the original Sleeping Beauty, he's the first developed prince. He's also the first prince with a name. Clearly he has his name in this, but they just didn't want to develop him. They really wanted to focus on Maleficent and make her this really well-developed tragic character, this hero villain, because she hates the king and she casts the curse on the daughter, but she likes Aurora. So events transpire and Aurora pricks her finger. The fairies say, oh, we need to find someone to wake her up. The whole time, again, Maleficent is watching her. She's not at the Forbidden Mountains being like, oh, yay, I've cast my curse, I'm so evil. No, she feels bad that Aurora is asleep. This is when the movie takes a bigger twist, because they find Prince Philip and he kisses her. It doesn't work. And the twist is Maleficent, after Philip leaves, kisses Aurora on the forehead and wakes her up. The writers of this movie must have worked or been inspired by Once Upon a Time, because they have turned Maleficent into Regina. She is no longer the mistress of all evil. She is this sympathetic character with a backstory where she didn't kill anyone and she didn't do anything really wrong. She's just upset because she was betrayed. And she wakes Aurora up. And then a battle ensues and there's a dragon. Not like in the original movie, because she doesn't transform into one. Her powers seem a bit more limited in this version of the film than the animated one. So King Stefan and Maleficent duke it out. Maleficent wins. Aurora's happy Maleficent won. Maleficent and Aurora then unite their kingdoms, because Maleficent's still the ruler of this fairy world and Aurora's the rightful heir to Stefan's throne. And then bada bing, bada boom. It's over. It's a happy ending. And that's this film in a nutshell. Maleficent is a hero. They turn the mistress of all evil into a good guy. And this is why I consider this an alternate universe to Sleeping Beauty, because there's no way at all the Maleficent of Sleeping Beauty from 1959 would be good. She's not. I gotta say, the acting in this movie was actually really good. Angelina Jolie did a great job as Maleficent. Elle Fanning did a really good job as Aurora. The guy who played King Stefan, I mean, he was good. He played the part correct, but I didn't like how they wrote his part, because he wasn't this regal man from Sleeping Beauty. He literally became a nutcase, which I didn't like. The fairies are bumbling idiots. I don't even want to talk about their acting, because it was bad. It was just bad and unneeded. I would rate Maleficent 3.5 out of 5. The visual effects are really good. Angelina Jolie and Elle Fanning's acting was really good. The plot, by turning her into this sympathetic character, giving her this backstory where she's not the essence of pure evil, is good if you want to change what you think of Maleficent. But because she's not evil, and because she didn't die even for sacrifice to save Aurora, I just feel there's something holding me back from giving it 4. It's still really good, but it's not amazing. They gave Maleficent a really interesting backstory. It's not the backstory I would pick for her, but I would definitely say to make sure you see this movie. What I've said, I haven't spoiled it enough. I've given you pretty much the basic details, but you need to see how Angelina Jolie plays this character, how Elle Fanning plays Aurora, because you'll be surprised. Disney always produces great movies, whether they are live action or animation. The backstory is my only real conundrum problem with the film, and the bumbling idiots that are the fairies. But make sure you see the movie, because it's definitely an interesting take on Maleficent. Do not consider it canon to the 1959 movie, because it will make you hate the movie, because you're like, oh, this did not happen, and this didn't happen, and this is wrong. I would say you have to look at it like it's its own world, an alternate universe, if you will. Please go see it. It's really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it the whole time. There are, of course, the things that I didn't like, the bumbling idiots. But go see it. It's good. If anyone has seen Maleficent, please let me know your thoughts. If I've turned you off from the movie, please let me know your thoughts. If you want me to review any other movies, let me know too. I will definitely take them into consideration to review. I take requests all the time. Make sure to see Maleficent. Bye, guys. So, The Beauty and the Beast Platinum Edition came out in 2002, and it's loaded with bonus features. It has 2 making ofs. Now, one of the making ofs is this long documentary